So we spoke earlier. Trump's second impeachment trial is over. He's been acquitted exactly as we predicted. I was expecting 5 Republicans to vote guilty. We got 7. That's something, but still not the 67 that were required to convict. Now with impeachment out of the way, and not that this should have delayed COVID relief anyway, but now with impeachment out of the way, no more excuses. It's time to get COVID relief done. Now, I am already, to be very clear, I think Joe Biden's been doing a good job so far. I like how much he's gotten done and how quickly he's got it done. Joe Biden did say checks going out right away when I'm sworn in if we have the 2 Senate seats. Democrats have the 2 Senate seats. We're getting close to a month, and we're still dealing with how exactly is this stimulus bill going to pass. It is increasingly and abundantly clear that at least in the lead up, Republicans aren't going to play ball. Now, I've said before, I think that the political risk of voting no on the stimulus bill is too great for all Republicans to vote no. I believe that if Democrats move forward with passing the COVID stimulus package, $1.9 trillion via budget reconciliation, which requires only a simple majority, meaning they can do it with 50 senators and Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote. I believe that if that's the way to do it, they should do it. This is too important. And it was Joe Biden's promise after all. But I think you will get some Republicans who go for it, because many of the same Republicans who voted guilty for Trump in the second impeachment trial have more moderate constituencies and or don't care so much about being seen as sticking with the Republicans and being on the team. I think it's quite plausible Mitt Romney would go for it. Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Ben Sasse, Pat Toomey, a lot of the same people who voted guilty on Saturday for Donald Trump, I think ultimately will come around because they realize that this is actually what their constituents want. So there's a New York Times article which says the Biden agenda, now with impeachment out of the way, the Biden agenda takes center stage, and that the order, the priorities will be passing the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill and then doing green infrastructure and then doing immigration and then doing climate change and starting to go through this list. Now, that's probably 18 months of stuff. We have to be realistic about how quickly, maybe a year. It's not clear. But we just have to get the COVID relief bill done. It's very clear that that is the next step. It's very clear that Joe Biden is now risking failing on a major campaign promise. You can argue that he already failed in the sense that he said it would happen right away and it's been a month. He initially said it'd be $2,000 checks. Then it was, well, it'll be $1,400 to get to the total of $2,000. OK, some are defending that. Some are not. Some are saying it's a flip flop. Regardless, we're almost a month in. It's time to do it. And so the report from the New York Times says that this is now the priority and that Joe Biden and Democrats are willing to go it alone. What has changed over the last 2 weeks? Nothing. Joe Biden brought Republicans to the White House. They wanted a plan that was humiliatingly small. It was a micro plan, I would call it. And it was less than 1/3 the size of what Joe Biden and Democrats want. You're negotiating with people who are negotiating in bad faith. They're negotiating down to something that's pathetic. It's peanuts for what we need. Just do it. It's time to get it done. And we will soon see whether Joe Biden understands the limits of so-called unity and the limits of bipartisanship. And as Jen Psaki, now I know, as Jen Psaki said many times now, bipartisanship doesn't mean that you unite Republicans and Democrats into one party. Democrats say 1.9 trillion, and it includes the it includes the payments that we've outlined before in terms of payments to individuals, payments for children, business stimulus, enhanced unemployment, money for vaccine, all these different things. Republicans want something so dramatically different that there's really no way to negotiate to anything that would make sense. The American people are overwhelmingly on the side of Joe Biden and Democrats. Not everybody, but significant support for the $1.9 trillion package. So it's just time to pass it. And this would be a major accomplishment for Joe Biden. My expectation would be that as high as Joe Biden's approval rating is right now, and it's the highest initial job approval of any president since Bill Clinton in 1993, over 28 years. Right now, this is the highest initial approval rating of any president dating back 28 years. I think it goes higher if Joe Biden is able to get this done in the next 10 days. And if not, it will start to be a drag on him politically. Politics aside, we need to do it for the economy. We need to do it for people. And I remain cautiously optimistic that in the next 7 to 10 days, there will be progress. We'll see what is said about it at this week's press briefings with Jen Psaki, which of course we'll be covering on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.